Hi there and welcome to another portion of infotainment. This video counts towards your 5 a day. Serious, Reddit, what was the scariest place you have ever been to? Probably a cave, wriggling through a lemon drop as they called it, where you go feet first down a skinny donkey tunnel and have to wriggle down about 12 before you drop into a chamber below. About halfway my shoulders got stuck and it took like 5 excruciating minutes to get loose. I don't know why I went spelunking, I'm claustrophobic. Ever since I read about the guy who got stuck and died because they couldn't get him unstuck, I refuse. I will never wiggle through tiny caves like that. Reconstructed subway which exploded years ago in Daegu, Korea. They memorialized the explosion on site, scorched walls, melted people's items, burnt phone booths and all, but the scariest was the scorched walls with writings and handprints of the people that were trapped during the explosion. This subway is one of the busiest stations even today due to being the city's downtown area. I had just crossed over the border into China from Kazakhstan. For some reason, my buddy and I made it a plan to hit as many haunted houses as we could. For whatever reason, there were plenty on our route from Moscow to Delhi. We found out about one in Ürümqi and decided to go. As we went down these dank stairs into what seemed like once was part of an underground system, everything just felt wrong. The person there had us sit in these gross chairs in front of this odd raised platform. Out of nowhere, this girl, and I mean no more than 14, comes out in a skimpy leopard print outfit with a snake. We are getting GTFO vibes but are the only ones there and the dudes running the place are right behind us. So, we proceed to watch this girl pop the snake's head into her mouth and swing it around like a helicopter. After the show they tried to guide us to these rooms with the grossest mattresses on the planet on the ground. It was really sad, creepy, and disgusting. All we could do is shove some RMB in the guy's hand and run out. Last year I lived in a suburb in Gifu Prefecture. Down the street was a broken down old house and my friend and I decided to do a photo shoot there one night, because an old broken Japanese house looked pretty cool. When I say broken down, I mean entire walls were missing and exposing the inside, floors were broken, and lots of old junk everywhere. Pipes and beams were exposed, and there were crates of old belongings. There was one crate though that had hundreds of photos of the same girl, as a child to adulthood. Black and white, developed from film. It was always just her and no one else in the photo. I thought it was strange that the old owners could just leave photos of this girl behind. I got really uncomfortable and so my friend and I left and abandoned the photo shoot. I think she might have been a victim of something and that's why the photos were left behind in a half-destroyed house. Got really freaked out that night. My brother went to visit my uncle in Papua New Guinea. He stayed the night in Port Moresby, one of the most dangerous cities in the world. His escort was a friend of my uncle's, an Australian federal police officer, that's FBI equivalent, and the hotel had armed guards at the gate, the front door, the desk and hallway to his room, from memory. The room was also protected, solid doors and stuff, with a panic room and an escape route, should the main room be breached. So yeah, I'd say that would be a mite scary. I heard that the Australian embassy in Port Moresby is called by its diplomats Fort Poop Scared. I've been to Mexico a couple times for business trips. Majority of the time it's awesome, but I've been in some dangerous situations. We usually have someone who worked for us waiting at the airport to transport us anywhere for the weekend since I didn't speak much Spanish and didn't know my way. It was late at night and we just left one of our resorts. After maybe 20 minutes of driving I was told to hide my face by the driver. It felt like something from a movie. All he told me was to not show I was American. I'm pretty sure cartels camp out near where we went and wait to find someone American since they're most vulnerable. To this day I have no idea if he was ducking with me, but it was one of the scariest moments ever. He was probably not effing with you. Kidnappings are a real danger over there. We were on our way to Flagstaff, Arizona for the Overland Expo and planned to camp near there the night before it started since we were on a longer overland trip. It was this place in the woods that was recommended by others who were there before. It all seemed fine and we set up camp. At night when we brushed our teeth we noticed there were animal skulls hanging in the trees all around us. It was super scary. We packed up and spent the night in a hotel. Man, my sister lives near there. That's freaking scary. Were there any bones / more skulls on the ground too? The street at Bolton Abbey. It's not too far from where I used to live, so I decided to go there once. It's the most unassuming thing you can imagine, but knowing how dangerous it is just makes it seem ominous. especially when you consider how many people it may have killed and how few people ever wash up. I didn't go within 10 feet of the thing. For anyone who doesn't want to click the link, although it's Tom Scott, so you really should, the street is what happens when a fast-flowing river basically turns on its side, putting a vast amount of water through a very slim, very deep, very dark groove in the ground. It looks calm on the surface, but if you fall in, you are royally effed. There's a claim that it might be the most dangerous stretch of water in the world, and I can readily believe it. I'm an over-the-road truck driver. I've been to crafty cities all too often. And it still makes me freak just a bit lol. Although I know what to do if someone tries to rob me. Just get out the truck and hand over the keys. This crap ain't worth my life. I thought you were gonna say step on the fricking gas. You saw what happened to Reginald Denny when he got out of his truck. Got stuck in my car in a freezing step during a really bad snowstorm at -45 degrees Celsius. The snow was real deep and my car was stuck so badly it would take a truck to pull it out. Cell phone didn't work, maps didn't work. For those who don't know, once the engine dies you have about 12 hours before you freeze to death. The worst thing is that the snow was so deep and the storm was so bad they probably wouldn't have found me until spring. I have been in a bunch of life-threatening situations in my lifetime, but frick, nothing is as scary as freezing to death in the middle of nowhere. Thankfully, another guy saw me. He happened to be driving a real pumped-up Land Cruiser, all geared up and crap. He gave me a real confused look once he realized I was driving a Jaguar Z, probably the last ducking car you want to drive there. It would have been okay if I stayed on the road, I guess, but I couldn't see because of the storm and wandered about 50 meters off-road. He pulled me out and led me for 2 hours at 40 kilometers an hour, given he could easily do 120 thanks to his car. I was in a small town in Laos high on magic mushrooms when the power went off in the full town. Local street dogs took the opportunity to fight it out. It was effing terrifying. Vang Vieng? Vang Vieng is the strangest place I've ever been to. It's where 20-something Westerners go when they want to escape life for as long as possible. For instance, pretty much the entire Western Sakura bar staff lives in the apartment building across the bar, goes to sleep at 5 a.m. every night, party and eat during the day just to return to work again that evening. Anyway, I'm thankful I was only there for 3 days. A Greyhound station in Buffalo, New York in the middle of the night. I thought for sure I was going to get mugged. I'm from Buffalo and all of the Greyhound stations are like that, so I understand. Hell, all the Greyhound's bus stops I've seen are like that. I live in a decent-sized circle city with around 70k people and the only Greyhound stop was in the worst area possible. They finally added a stop in a gas station parking lot on the outside of town due to complaints. An abandoned set of buildings that were part of a former college campus, next to an abandoned military airfield. There was a lot to explore, but it definitely gave off an unsettling vibe. There was even an enterable hangar that had a bunch of torn gas masks lying on a pile in the middle of it. The masks were probably purposefully destroyed to prevent their use. Masks wear out, especially when left unattended in an abandoned facility. I believe so, too. I don't see any other reason why they would leave them there. Certainly not for future usage. Plus, the hangar was littered with all kinds of other unusable things. What would have been your answer or question? Leave it in the comments below. Slap that like and subscribe button for more, and check out the link in the video description for even more answers. Peace out, and catch you in the next video.